Lauren very much. I will miss them until the end of my days.
Lynn Denton spoke of her grandmother, her two nieces, and her sister, the four women brutally murdered 2 years ago in Burlingame, Kansas.
I still want to pick up the phone and call her. When the phone rings, I want to hear her cheery voice say, "Hi, sister."
Thanksgiving weekend in 2009, the small, quiet town of Burlingame, Kansas, lay still under the season's first frost, preparing for a holiday meant for family and gratitude. But for the Kahler family, this holiday would become a nightmare. For family members laid dead in a single home, the victims of an unfathomable tragedy that left the entire community reeling. At the center of it all was James Kraig Kahler, a man seen as a devoted father, respected professional, and seemingly loving husband. But on that cold November night, he became something much darker. This is the story of how love turned into obsession and how a family's shared life was shattered beyond repair. James Kraig Kahler, or Kraig as his friends called him, seemed to live the American dream. Born and raised in Kansas, Kraig grew up with a strong work ethic and a drive to succeed. He met Karen, his high school sweetheart, and they quickly became inseparable. By all accounts, theirs was a storybook romance. After high school, Kraig went on to earn an engineering degree, while Karen focused on building a home and family. In the years that followed, they built a life together. 3 children, a beautiful home, and a stable life. The couple had 3 children, Emily, Lauren, and Sean. Friends described them as a loving and close-knit family, one that seemed destined for happiness. Kraig had a successful career in the utility sector, known for his dedication and leadership. To the outside world, the Kahlers were perfect, a happy family with everything they could ever want. But behind closed doors, the picture was different. People close to Karen noticed a change in her demeanor as the years went on. Beneath the polished exterior, friends saw signs of growing tension. As Kraig's career took off, he grew increasingly controlling, isolating Karen and trying to dictate her every move. For Karen, these behaviors were stifling, and she began to feel trapped. She confided in close friends that Kraig's possessiveness had become overwhelming, making her feel more like a prisoner than a partner. Karen sought solace where she could. After years of enduring a controlling relationship, she met someone who made her feel seen, understood, and valued. In 2009, Karen began an affair with another woman, a revelation that rocked Kraig's world. His reaction was swift and intense. Kraig's controlling nature turned to a consuming obsession. He began monitoring Karen's movements even more closely, growing angry and volatile. He was unable to cope with what he saw as an ultimate betrayal. Karen, realizing the depth of Kraig's anger, decided to end their marriage. She filed for divorce, taking the children and moving into her grandmother Dorothy White's home in Burlingame, Kansas. For Kraig, this move wasn't just the end of a marriage. It felt like the destruction of his entire life's work. His wife, his children, his home, everything he thought was his seemed to be slipping away. His mind turned to dark places, and in the weeks leading up to Thanksgiving, he became consumed with resentment, unable to accept the idea of losing his family. Friends and family recall Kraig's demeanor during this time as erratic and angry. He refused to accept Karen's decision to leave, and he became increasingly agitated. His behavior in those final weeks hinted at what would soon become clear. Kraig Kahler was unraveling. On November 28, 2009, Kraig Kahler made a decision that would change everything. That evening, he drove to the home of Dorothy White, where Karen and the children were staying. Armed and determined, he entered the house with one goal in mind. In a matter of minutes, Kraig opened fire, killing his wife Karen, his 2 daughters, Emily and Lauren, and his mother-in-law, Dorothy. His son Sean miraculously survived by hiding during the attack, later becoming a critical witness to the events of that night.